Fox 56 Sports presents the Rivalry of the Week on My Network TV. Brought to you by your local Scranton Geico Agency.
You're looking live at the Phil Lockup Gymnasium at the Shikellamy Fieldhouse in Sunbury, where tonight it's a Heartland Conference Division I showdown between the Danville Ironmen and the Shikellamy Braves. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Ide. We'll be joined courtside today by my partner, John Mandola from the Fox 56 Sports Show. And, John, it's not too often we talk about a big regular season game early in the season, but for Shikellamy, they're down in the standings and they need to pick up more wins, especially games at home.
They do. I mean, it's an important game. Danville is, such a streak and a dominance here. Shikellamy's got to put it all together, play 4 quarters tonight, see if they can get a win in front of the home crowd.
Danville is riding a 29-game regular season winning streak in the Heartland Conference. They're led by a lot of guards, but we're going to talk about Zach Kozik tonight.
Well, Zach's a heck of a player. 13 points a game. He's got some steals under his belt. They're quick guards, Danville. They're going to guard you all over the court in that full pressure. Kozik is a guy you got to look at tonight for the Ironmen.
Shikellamy, meanwhile, we talked about under pressure a little bit. Started out 0-3 this season. They battled back, but a loss the other night to Milton. One guy who had a big game is that Austin Mowry. He needs a big game tonight as well.
Well, Austin had 7 threes the other night against Milton, but they kind of fell apart in the fourth quarter. They need to come together and play, again, that complete game and get big play out of their guards. They have so many of them. They all have to see if they can be on the same page.
The Braves this year have battled with the big men. Tonight they're going to see a good one in Phil Stem for Danville. So our spotlight matchup tonight is in the paint, John, with the 2 big guys.
Well, Stem's averaging 13 points a game, 8 rebounds a game. He's a heck of a talent, 6'4". He's a junior, 23 blocks on the year. On the other side, you see Garrett Kimberly, athletic kid, 6'1" senior, coming off an injury, 5 points a game, 5 rebounds. We'll see if Kimberly could try to slow down Stem a little bit.
Hare and Kenny will try to slow down Stem as well. So we are ready here at the Lockoff Gymnasium. The last time these two teams met was in the District 4 AAA semifinals, where Shikellamy beat Danville and a last-second shot in Shamokin. That was their first win over the Ironmen in 12 straight games. Can they continue that streak tonight? We'll find out. It's the opening tip and the starting lineups next from Sunbury.
You're watching the Rivalry of the Week on My Network TV, WQMY. Brought to you by your local Scranton Geico Agency. And by Sunbury Motors, a tradition of trust since 1915.
And welcome back to Sunbury, everyone. And we get ready for tonight's battle between the Ironmen and the Braves. The JV game ran a little bit longer than expected. Shikellamy, John, was down by 9 or 10 in that game. They battled back, but Danville won the JV game. So we have about 9 minutes left on the clock. So why don't we talk about the 2 coaches we have here tonight. Very good coaches, been here a long time. We'll talk about Lenny Smith from Danville first.
Well, Lenny Smith, qualified for the AAA state playoffs 9 out of the past 11 years. So you know what you're getting from him. Played the AAA District 4 championship game. Again, 9 of those 11. He's got 3 AAA District 4 titles. So, a talented guy who gets the most out of his kids. And they like to pressure you, Bob. They're going to come with all different kinds of presses. You see the 204 wins in 12 seasons for him. Great accomplishment for him and his staff. But the kids just are buying into the program, and they like this kind of pressure-packed defense that they use here for the Ironmen.
Well, Danville, again, probably the favorite in Division I right now. Shamokin is up there on top, and also one of the favorites with Shamokin in District 4 AAA. On the other side, we have Tim Four from the Shikellamy Braves. He's been around, seems like a real long time, 16 years for the coach.
Yeah, well, Tim, was trying to work on some stuff with this group right now. And they had 6 straight losing seasons before they were able to get 9 straight winning seasons. They beat Danville. You talked about that a little bit. That was a big win for them in the playoffs. And then, of course, lost to Milton in the finals. And, they lost on Friday to Milton this past week. And, district final loss to Danville. You see how big of a difference there was in that. And you see the head coach there, Tim Four, for Shikellamy. And, this league, Bob, I think is going to turn a little bit. You get the young man out of Shamokin last night, and hearing that he may have broken both arms, not sure. I knew he allegedly broke at least one in that game against Pottsville, going up at home last night. So that's going to change stuff a little bit. But I think Shikellamy's got to come out strong tonight and take on this Danville team like they really want it and show them that they can handle the pressure from the Ironmen.
They were down 4 last week against Milton right here in this building, and they had Milton pretty good in their grasp, but Milton went on a 22-0 run. Again, that first half led by Austin Mowry, 7 3-pointers, John, but they couldn't find the basket. They're a live-and-die team, Shikellamy, by the three-pointer.
They are, and one of the things the coach said is we have a lot of different guys that could shoot the ball, and he gives them the autonomy to kind of do that in the offense. He talks about basketball IQ and making sure guys know when to pull the trigger and when not to, and that's going to be an important component tonight for Shikellamy. Again, that discipline that he talks about goes full circle. They got to be fast-paced, they got to be motivated, they got to be able to handle the ball, but they got to be disciplined and know when to shoot and when to pass and what is a good shot and what isn't.
Well, how about we take a quick timeout here as both teams are warming up on the floor here. About 6 minutes left before we get this varsity game started here at the Shikellamy Fieldhouse in Sunbury. It's the Ironmen and the Braves awaiting the opening tip right here on My Network TV. And the cheerleaders are getting ready too here in Sunbury at the Shikellamy Fieldhouse in a beautiful gymnasium, John. I haven't seen this in a long, long time. My first trip down here, probably 10, 11 years. They have that old gym. They play a lot of district games here. Beautiful gymnasium here, and you can see why they hold District 4 games right here.
Yeah, it's a perfect venue for it, that's for sure. Really did a fantastic job down here, and always great tradition down here. All different types of athletics, that's for sure. Get to see a little bit of these two tonight in a game that, you like to see some District 4 teams go at it, always feisty. And a look at the PA Heartland Athletic Conference standings we're going to see coming up, Bob.
Yeah, district out of this is Division 1. Of course, in Division 2 tonight, there's a big game going on in Loyalsock between Lewisburg and Loyalsock, two ranked teams in AA. But right now, Shamokin's on that lead, but you talked about they lost their big guy the other night, did Shamokin, and we'll have to see how that's affected.
Yeah, that's a shame. You hope the young man could get back and get healthy for them long term. But, hey, Danville is a team that just has so much talent. You see the difference in the amount of games that some of these teams played and the way the weather has affected different teams. Some teams hit the gym, some teams not able to get in it.
Well, Austin Stein from Shamokin, he'll be out. You mentioned he might have a couple of broken arms, so and that he's their leading scorer. So Coach Chris Zimmerman down in Shamokin really has to watch out now as they are going to head into division play. And of course, Heartland Conference will have a tournament at the end of their season, which they're in right now. That'll be February 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Williamsport High School. As you see, Lenny Smith on the left and Tim Four. And of course, Coach Smith has had the best of Coach Four over the last couple of years, except for that win last year.
Well, Coach Smith, again, over 200 wins and just really done a fantastic job there, Bob, for them with that, as you mentioned, 29 consecutive regular season win streak. It dates back to 2010-11. I mean, it's just outstanding. And here's the starters, Bob.
Here are the starters before we get this game underway. Zach Kozik, we talked about him, the 6-foot senior. Watch out for Austin Rentz as well, another 6-foot senior. He averages 11 points per game, 27.9% from the three-point land. And Shane Riley, another guard, 6'2". He's just a junior, 9 points. And then the forwards, Dan Siebold, a 6'1 senior, averages 6 points per game. And then we talked about Phil Stem, the 6'4 junior in the paint, 12.9 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, does have 23 blocks on the season. If there's Achilles heel for Danville this year has been their free throw shooting. They're only shooting 59.5% as a team this year. For the Braves of Shikellamy, who will come in 5-7 and 3-2 in Heartland Conference Division I play. Well, Austin Mowry, C.J. Tyler, another all-region type guard, 5'10 senior, 9.1 points per game, 20 steals during the year, but he shoots 86% from the free throw line. Kyle Leitzel, another sophomore, number 32, and then number 33, Derek Ammerman, a 6'1 sophomore, averaging 9 points per game. And then tonight, Garrett Kemberling, who we talked about in our pregame, coming back from an injury, number 21. He'll get the start at the number 5 spot. He'll have to guard the inside presence of Phil Stem. Now Ted Anderlevich will sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare on bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home
Mr. Ted Anderlevich with the national anthem here. And here are the referees for tonight's game in this Heartland Conference game. Kevin McNamara, Doug McRoberts, and Steve Jacoby will get the nod. So, John, let's talk about some keys for Shikellamy. You think they have to shoot the ball well and get out and get the press broken for them.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest challenge for them. I mean, if they can handle the pressure, and the one thing Danville, again, we'll see 1-2-2, 2-2-1. You know, Coach said we're going to see everything. We watch tape of them. They're going to pressure us. If we can handle the press, that'll be huge. And then, of course, working the ball around and trying to be, again, real smart with the basketball, taking good, solid shots.
For Danville, they're going to play their guard-oriented game and probably work the press and get it to their big guy in the middle.
Well, they're a nice-sized team. You know, all their guys are over 6 feet, all their starters. And then, of course, Phil Stem at 6'4", you know, tall, lanky guy, you know, really has a long reach to him. So he'll play big in there. And, of course, he's got some good ups as well. So, you know, that'll be important with the 23 blocks. You know, he's a shot blocker as well.
Danville's coming off a win over Jersey Shore, 68-55 in that game. Austin Rentz had 22 points, Phil Stem 23 points. And then both teams will head on to their respective divisions in Division I of the Heartland Conference coming up on Friday. And then before you know it, John, it will be playoff time in District 4. Well, the top two teams in District 4 AA are going head-to-head tonight, and they are not underway yet in Loyal Sock. Two ranked teams, the Lancers and the Green Dragons. Again, it seems like every year those two teams go at it.
Yeah, and you know, Ron Insinger, what a job he's done with that program. You know, really incredible job. I think is he up to 800 career wins or 900?
900.
900. You lose track. It seemed like 4 or 5 years ago it was 800. Now we're at 900. So every 5 years or so, you know, he just hits it. There's 20 wins every year, it seems. You know, Ron's done a great job, really, as a solid program, and the athletes do an incredible job. So, you know, I think Loyal Sock's one of those teams that, you know, you got to look to each and every year. And, of course, like you mentioned, Lewisburg's, you know, had a good run.
And then St. John Newman tonight also undefeated in the Heartland Conference Division III. Elise Johnson, their big center, playing very well as of late, and they have a big game tonight against South Williamsport. So as I mentioned, the Braves' schedule doesn't get any easier. They meet Jersey Shore coming up and then it's Central Mountain and Selinsgrove. Then they play Shamokin, Milton, at Danville. Right now it's their home schedule. That's what Tim Ford talked about. They have to win their games at home because after January 29th, it's all on the road pretty much except for one game.
Yeah, and you got to take on Milton and Danville, in a row, and then at Jersey Shore. So those three is kind of a big challenge for them. The 5th, the 8th, and the 12th. And then, of course, somewhere between now and the beginning of February, if you get something else coming up in the schedule, it throws something into the kink, and then you get it changed up.
And Danville's going to play a non-conference game. Always good to get out and see how good you are to play against Allentown Central Catholic on the 18th. Then they hit the road for a while, and they'll finish up at home with Shikellamy, Selinsgrove, and that will be the end of their season. Then they'll play a non-conference game against District 4 Quad A, Williamsport.
Yeah, and the one thing about Danville is they're going to get a good test by seeing some of those teams, of course, prepare for the playoffs as they take on the Williamsport Millionaires at the end of the season. So that's a nice little prelude to what they're going to see come playoff time.
Well, thank you for bearing with us. We're finally going to get this varsity game underway. It's the Ironmen and the Braves from Sunbury. It's inside the stem, right off the back on the alley-oop. So there on the backside with the rebound is Dan Siebold for the first 2 of the game. It's Kemmerling up and under as they break the press. So a quick start, tied at 2 here.
Well, the players are anxious as well, starting a little bit later, but it's a fast-paced affair with Danville with the pressure on the defensive end, and they're looking around for those quick shots offensively.
Shikellamy in that man-to-man defense. Wrench posting up. Little turnaround is no good. Rebound by Ammerman, the sophomore. The Braves will not try to go inside and out. It's strictly a lot of movement. They'll try to find the open guy, and Kimberly makes his presence known here early on with the first 2 baskets.
Yeah, again, real athletic. I watched him in warm-ups. He's got some quick ups. He's, like you said, undersized, got that knee injury over on that right knee at 6'1".
Well, these 2 teams are meeting for the 103rd time in the history here. If Danville owns a 74-31 lead.
We see the little back door over that way, and Kimberling able to finish that one to give the Braves a 4-2 advantage.
106th meeting between these 2 schools. Danville owns the big lead at 74 wins. Nice cut from Mowry, and a very good pass from Leitzel.
Well, back door, bounce passes. They've done it a couple times so far early. See if Danville's able to slow that down.
Siebold lays it up and in. And again, they're going right to the inside. Quick, fast-paced game. No rest for the weary here, and it goes over to the Ironman. Kozik bringing it up. Little floater and gets a friendly rim.
Well, here comes the press. They're going to try to put some pressure here on Shikellamy and see if they can handle it.
This is a battle of the guards tonight. You'll see a lot of good speed, a lot of quickness out there.
Turnovers will play a big role. We saw one in that big 3 there, Bob.
Austin Rentz from downtown. His 18th three-pointer on the season, and finally we have a whistle at the 5:35 mark.
So a little aggressive there from Danville. Get that first foul. If you're Shikellamy, you'd like to try to see if you could gain a couple fouls on their big guy, put Phil Stem in a little bit of trouble. But they have some other guys that look like they got quick ups. I mean, Renz showed it, and so did Siebel.
Foul goes against Kozik, his first, team's first. Little 1-2-2 press from the Ironmen. Try to force it in, and that's one thing that will plague Shikellamy tonight, turnovers. Oh, a little rim shot from Kozik. He has 4 right now.
Yeah, that's a little backyard move from Kozik. I mean, he just takes it in the lane, spins around, and throws it in.
So a 5-point advantage for the Ironmen. And we have a whistle.
I think we had 3 turnovers within a minute there for Shikellamy. That's not going to cut it against the Ironmen.
Can't give the Danville team extra possessions. They'll shoot the ball very well. So we have a substitution. Ryan Kenny in for Shikellamy, number 44. He's 6'6", a returning senior. He can play on the inside. And we have a travel call.
Well, Garrett Kimberly really hustling a lot. He poked that ball out to his teammate, Austin Mowry. But nonetheless, they get a walk on Mowry. Boy, Phil Stem's a tall 6'4", I would say.
Yeah.
It's almost like 6'5".
Yeah, he's listed at 6'3", but he's obviously 6'4", 6'5". Maybe he grew an inch before they measured him. Pop shot, another three from Rentz.
Yeah, Ren's playing some good basketball right now and feeling it. He's averaging almost 12 points a game.
Shikellamy has to hold on to the ball and then make their shots. Mowry hangs, and he has his first two, the conventional style. That's his first two in 2 games. In all threes the last time these two teams met. Good rebounding in there from Leitzel, a 5'9" sophomore.
Kozik, impressive addition to the ball. Very athletic kid. Got it to where it had to go.
And we have a travel on the floor. So 3:41 remaining in the first half and first quarter. It's Danville has a 6-point lead over Shikellamy.
And it's been Danville. Renz with another three. That's his second one here in the first quarter. Lighten it up for the Ironman.
We are back at the Shikellamy Field House. John, Danville, a couple big three-pointers from Rentz, and they have a 6-point lead over the home team.
The Ironmen looking to see, again, getting the ball inside if they could to stem.
Rentz's first miss, but Kozik at 6 foot battling underneath, and it goes over to Danville.
Really impressed with Zach Kozik so far here in the first quarter. The 6-foot senior. Just really, you see how he is a first-team, all-star.
Returning all-star for Danville. They'll get it inside as Batunek, a 6'3" junior, number 2, has checked in. So it's kind of a twin tower look now. And Kozik trying to feed Stem, but Shikellamy gets that turnover. Rays have not scored in a while. Let's see who they can get. Another turnover for Shikellamy, and this has been their problem all year long.
Got to squeeze the ball, got to look the ball in. Right now, Danville's just, again, they're all over the court, wreaking havoc. And got to be able to handle that pressure.
Stem post move. Little baby hook, no good. We'll have a foul underneath. It's going to go against Stem and Danville. It's going to go actually against.
Well, you see Stem trying to post up here, does a little baby hook over on the right, and then Shane Riley over the back. They get him for the call.
They do get Riley as first, and it is their team's second for Danville, excuse me. Kozik has the other foul. No fouls so far on the Braves of Shikellamy. Watch out for Mowry to come through and maybe get a shot from three-point land. Another turnover on the Braves. This one going out of bounds, so that will bring back in Kyle Leitzel, the sophomore.
Well, you add in a couple of travels, turnover there by the out of bounds, Hey, they're only down 6. Shikellamy, they're fortunate thus far with all the miscues they've had. But again, you can't have that many miscues on your own end. You got to force the other team to have a few.
So Kenny still in there for Shikellamy, guarding Stem. So we have look like a foul underneath against Shikellamy. It's going to go against Leitzel. I think for a little push inside.
He's laughing it off.
Riley off the mark. Battle for the rebound, goes over to Danville.
What hustle from Renz. Schick had their guy Leitzel boxed him out, but Renz just kind of skirted the edge and got it to stay alive.
Kozik knocked out of bounds as he tried to get to the rim.
Well, here you see Kozik looking around on this last play, trying to be as patient as he could, and takes that thing in, and then finally was blocked.
So it's Kozik out in front who will call the play. So far, I like the defense from Shikellamy. Playing very hard man-to-man. But instead, Leitzel, Kozik gets position. He has 6 points right now. First score by either team in about 2.5 minutes. Mowry, oh, he's off the mark so far. And the three-pointer no good by Tyler, rebounded by the Ironman.
Well, they tried a couple of three-pointers. That didn't go. You know, sometimes you need to get hot in the inside before the outside. You get some 10 or 12-footers to fall, build that confidence a little bit. As again, Shikellamy another opportunity here.
John, this year on three-pointers alone, Shikellamy has shot 222 so far this season. And that's only in 12 games. They've made 31. That's a 32%. So you can see how they like to shoot the three.
Yeah, and they have the guards to do it, you know, and it's a matter of who's getting hot. We mentioned in the pregame about Mowry, how he hit 7.5. So, you know, they could do the job. But, you know, right now, again, keeping the ball in their possession. And could have been a walk. They end up calling a foul. So fortunate for the Braves.
So that goes against Riley for Danville, his second. So he'll take a seat, and that will bring in number 25, Jalen Bickhart, a 5'10 senior, number 25. Shikellamy also has Harry Herbster in, 5'10 senior, number 40. But they have not scored since our TV timeout at the 3:45 mark. So they're going to play for the last shot, down 8. Give credit to the defense of Danville. Off the mark by Leitzel. A little quick look to the clock by Kozik. He'll take it the length of the floor. No foul called. He has 8, and Danville has the 10-point lead at the end of the first quarter here in Sunbury. So Shikellamy needs to find the basket. Danville has, and Kozik is leading the way.
Here's Zach Kozik. What an athlete. They don't get the charge. Kozik with the touch. Kiss it off the glass.
They're the brave cheerleaders of Shikellamy, their team down 10 here as we get in the second quarter. Brought to you by Sunbury Motors. Bye-bye, John Mendola. Courtside here in Sunbury. John, your impressions on the first quarter?
Well, I think Shikellamy, you know, they keep trying to force the three a little bit. That time, you know, they need to try to fake the three and go inside drive. They're going man-on-man. We got a foul over here. And it's going to be called on Kozik. But, you know, what I saw there at the end of the first quarter was, you know, one of their guys was Leitzel, had an open three look, but if he fakes that and drives, you know, he had the whole lane to himself. Here you see Shikellamy moving the ball around and the foul over there from Kozik. So now Shikalamy's got to start hitting a couple of free throws if they get their opportunity, and a missed first one here for them. Again, 4 team fouls on Danville right now, so that could add up for them here in this first half. They may be able to get to the free throw line a little bit, and they got to hit some of them.
Well, Mowry, who hit 7 threes the other night, hits that free throw. He's shooting 66.7%. It's his 11th made free throw on the season. He now has 5 points of the 9 for Shikellamy. Well, Shikellamy does only average 48 points per game. Meanwhile, Danville, 59.8 per game. They grab 30 rebounds a game. They assist of 14.1. And they get about 15 turnovers the game. Reds hits 1. Another 2 points for Danville.
A very athletic Danville team. You see Austin Wrench just so quick.
There's a three-pointer from Ammerman, the sophomore. His first points of the game.
He's averaging 9 points a game, so Ammerman can get going. You know, it's one of those teams that, you know, we mentioned, hey, they could get 5 guys that score 10 points.
Oh, Rentz was feeling it, can't get that one to go. It goes over to Shikellamy. The Braves will hang on in this game, I think, but they can't let it get any more than 10. You got to stay within striking distance, I would think, towards the end of the game.
Right, and especially for all the miscues that they've had early. If they could shore some of those miscues up, you know, they will have some opportunities here. But again, all the things we talked about, handling the ball, and again, that basketball IQ, so important, according to the coach.
Shikellamy has done a nice job tonight breaking the press. They just haven't made the baskets. Cross court. 2 sophomores out front. Ammerman, another 3, no good, off the mark. A little short on that one. Here comes Kozik and Danville.
Kozik just shows so much confidence when he has the ball.
Got it to go. So Rentz gets this one, and we'll have a 30-second timeout. We'll stay right here. Called by Shikellamy. Probably wise at this point that 10-4 trying to stop this.
Well, Danville with the ball movement and then just a quick hitter. Renz has that touch. If he was at a carnival, he'd win a prize. Gets that roll right in.
So it's a 10-point lead here for the Ironmen of Danville, who are 5-2 coming in, 2-0 in the Pennsylvania Heartland Conference Division I. And Coach Four, again, imploring to his team, hold on to the ball. They've done a nice job breaking their press, which is probably step number 1 for them.
It is, and now we're going to see a little bit more pressure, though, because they're manning up here. So this is going to be a little different for them. Used to the zone. Now it's a man pressure, so Renz is going to guard right up front, and then they'll do some trapping. They show man, then they go back to a zone.
Watch, they don't get the 10 count. They don't. Maurer waiting on the wing, wide open. If they can find him. It's stolen. It's taken away by Kozik. Excuse me, that's Rentz who had the ball, number 15, not number 5. He's fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Austin Renz has showed his athleticism here. He's got some quick early points, and he draws the foul right here. So Austin Renz one more time. And pretty good free throw shooter. Close to 70%.
13 and 19 Rentz is this season. He gets this one, and Ironmen extend their lead.
You can tell by the way Danville plays. Looks like they played a lot of pickup basketball because they have that fluidness to them, where they're running down the court and they're under control, playing some good basketball, whether it's Kozik or Rentz.
And the second one goes off the mark. So 11-point lead now. 10 was the highest. Shikellamy just trying to get any kind of basket, and they finally find their big guy, Brian Kenny, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Ammerman was lucky he didn't get called with a push off there on the offensive side, but he gets it to the big guy who's able to go up and draw a foul. You see, they've done a lot of bounce passes here, and effective bounce passes for them to get the ball to the inside guy. Now they got to finish on the free throw line.
Well, they do shoot 73% from the free throw line. Kenny, though, not a very good free throw shooter himself, just 3 of 7, now 4 of 8 on the year, up to 50% for him. The foul went against Danville.
Take a three-point play.
Yeah. The old-fashioned kind, and Kenny gets his own rebound, and maybe that will give a spark now to the Braves.
Well, the way this game's played out, it seems like Danville's up 15. Reality, it's only 8.
A turnover for the Ironmen. They have numbers. Can they find Kenny? Instead, they find the sophomore. He's undercut. Leitzel goes down hard. The foul's going to go against John Stem, I believe. Nope, number 21 is Matt Malloy.
Well, it all started with a great guess from C.J. Tyler. He guessed right to get it over, and then they finally get it down low. So good transition game there from Schick with 16 fouls now going against the Ironmen.
And they're going to have to keep it close on the free throw line. There is Leitzel. His dad won the assistants here. Thank him for getting me the stats, in fact. Both teams want to thank them very much for getting me stats and information on both teams. And in fact, Leitzel puts it in.
Oh, Harry Herbster in, Bob, now 5'10" senior. Try to see if he can get a little emotion going here and try to fire up the Braves.
And a foul on the floor. A push on the Braves, and it looks like it might go against Ammerman. Nope, 44. Goes against Kenny, so his first. Ironman ball again. Protect the inside, stolen by Tyler. Tyler in, pump fake no good, no foul called. They're rejected by Stem, and that one against Herbster.
There's the ups from Stem.
Foul Siebold to the hole. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Well, Dan Shikellamy had a chance there. They had the numbers. Just couldn't convert.
You see Danville pushing the ball up court. Great bounce pass over here. And then you're going to get the foul on the arm, which is going to send the Ironman to the free throw line.
Siebold makes his first. He's an 83% shooter, 16 of 19 now on the season. And so Leitzel comes back in with 2 fouls, the sophomore, and 2 points. And Siebold was a little short on that, but gets the friendly roll here, and he has 6 points for the Ironmen, who have an 8-point lead again, and a foul on the trap.
Well, that was a great trap by Danville. And Coach Lenny Smith couldn't believe there was a foul called. Danville had 3 guys here. Now watch this. Here's the trap. And he ended up tripping. Well, they're saying they gave him a little bit of the low clothesline, I guess you could call that. And nonetheless, a foul on Danville. But hey, it was aggressive defense. And Lenny Smith will say, hey, do that 100 times. And, you know, once in a while you're going to get a foul called on that. But a good job overall from the Ironman. Chicks, again, one more time on that free throw line.
Foul went against Riley, his third, so he takes a seat. And I was going to say, it's almost automatic with this kid. He's shooting 86% from the line, but he misses the front end of a 1-on-1. And there's another turnover. Kemberling. This time it's good. So Garrett Kemberling, off getting the start tonight, has 6 points, and the Braves pull within 6.
Well, that was totally telegraphed on that end, and so Kemberling took it all the way down.
Kozik hasn't scored in a while. He had 8 in that first quarter. And he'll set it back up. Coming up on the 4-minute mark here at the Shikellamy Fieldhouse, inside the stem. Nice job by the smaller Ammerman. Finds Mowry, and no good. But a foul is going to go back the other way. So with 3:57 remaining here in the second quarter, there's a foul on the floor, and we'll take a timeout. Shikellamy cutting into the Ironman lead. They're only down 6 right now here on their home court.
You're watching the rivalry of the week on My Network TV, WQMY. Brought to you by your local Scranton Geico Agency. And by Sunbury Motors, a tradition of trust since 1915.
Welcome back live to Sunbury, the Shikellamy Fieldhouse in Heartland Conference Division I showdown between the Ironmen and the Braves. Shikellamy has caught back up. They were down 23-12 with 5:56 remaining, but they cut that lead now to 6, John.
Shikellamy has tried to convert, and really, again, can't emphasize enough, those bounce passes have been great, trying to get the ball inside. That's, drawn a couple fouls where they've had a few conversions there. Danville's got to get back to how they started with, moving the ball around a little bit more, and a mistake on the last time by their big guy who put the ball on the floor and stem, just go right up.
Jake Hare, a 6'2 senior, number 52 in for Shikellamy. Football type player, big body. Inside, I was going to say he was swallowed up and going to go to foul now on the Braves. It'll be their 6th foul. It's going to go against the aforementioned Hare, his first foul of the night.
One more before the bonus. She stemmed with the ball, pounded it inside, he fronted there, and then he ends up getting fouled.
As we come back, Stem gets his first 2 points. And now they have a little press. Looks like a match type of zone now, John. 2-3 zone coming in for Danville.
And you'll see the pressure here from this. Again, they try to match up. They'll try to go back door here, and there's the back door open. Nice job.
Good pass from Mowry to Kimberling, and Garrett has 8.
Well, Garrett Kimberly, again, watched him in warm-ups. Seemed like that kind of guy that just is athletic enough to make those type of plays. Again, coming off that knee injury and able to do that. Now we got another quick foul. We're going to get a one-on-one here, Bob.
He tore it up in the football last season. So the foul is going to go against Hare again, and that puts Kozik on the line, shooting 1-1. He's a 66% free throw shooter, and this one goes off the front of the rim, and Kenny is in now again for Shikellamy, the 6'6 senior. Danville's been very active on the defensive side, but Shikellamy, I think, has finally settled down a little bit.
Again, it hasn't been as much of the outside shooting as to finding the guy open. They keep looking at that backdoor sneaker guy.
Ammerman back of the rim, but Kenny is there, a big rebound. Danville in that 3-2 zone to try to bounce pass, but it's going to, a kick.
But Kimberly was in the lane about 3 seconds. He got lucky they didn't call it, but he was just kind of footsying around there in the lane. He's got to be careful. He gets pulled out here. Great minutes from Kimberly again.
So C.J. Tyler, the senior, throws it in, and Danville tries to get the trap in the corner. And they get it into Kenny, the big guy, and he misses the easy layup. Here come Danville the other way. Kozik to Stem, lays it up and in, no foul called. And Bill Stem, 2 quick buckets here in the second. He has 4 for him. It's answered quickly by the sophomore, Ammerman, with another 3.
Well, there's that ball movement from Shikellamy. And a steal now.
Tyler, no good, easy layup miss. But Lightso's there, and he turns around. Boy, they're lucky there. Tyler's missed 2 easy layups on steals, and suddenly the Braves within 3.
Well, confidence growing right now for Shikellamy. Getting that ball movement as much as they could, trying to keep a cap right now on Kozik.
Kozik doesn't have a field goal since the first quarter. Rentz, pop, shot, good. Austin Rentz, another 3-pointer. He's got 3 of them tonight. Rentz back to a 6-point lead.
Ren's already in double figures.
And Kenny will go with the push on Austin Rentz, and the senior goes to the line, shoot 1 and 1.
Well, we're late here in the second quarter, and a 6-point advantage now for Danville with the opportunity to go back up 8. So, Shikellamy was able to close it real tight. You'll see Kimberly re-enter the ball game.
So Rentz to the line. He's 1 from 1 there this evening. And the first one is good, and a nice friendly rim here for both teams tonight here at the Shikellamy Fieldhouse. A couple of them have been short He's got that roll. A little soft ribs.
Yeah, real good touch from Rent.
And Rent's again short, but again he gets the roll and he gets another one in. He has 14 first half points of the 34. They break the press. Mowry, his spot, he's got it off to Mowry. He loves that left-hand corner, and he hits a big three.
That's big right before the half here. See what Shikellamy could do defensively if the Ironmen try to hold it for one. They're down now only 5.
They were down 11 at one point, and Sten drives in for an easy bucket. We're under near the 30-second mark here in the first half. C.J. Tyler, the senior, will just hold for the last shot. Try to get Danville out into the man-to-man. Looks like they're going to match up.
Well, nobody at the top of the key. They're kind of all around right now for Shikellamy, looking for that 3.
5 to go. Little cut. Herbster's going to be called, I think, for a travel. Nice job by Tyler. Herbster made the cut, but he made one extra step. So 4 seconds left, for Danville.
You got to get the pressure on.
Rents. Nope. They're going to get it to Vatunik. He had a shot. It's off the mark, but Danville owns a 36-29 lead in a very entertaining first half here on My Network TV in Heartland Conference Division I play. So Danville had the big lead. Shikellamy has cut into it as we head to the half, and they've been doing it a lot of different ways.
You're watching the rivalry.
Welcome back to Shikellamy High School for tonight's basketball matchup. Danville, Shikellamy. We're at halftime. I'm with the superintendent, Pat Kelly. And Pat, hey, a great ball game going on here.
This is really, really exciting. We were anticipating a struggle, and our kids have come out and done really well.
Well, there's a lot of guards on this team who need to try to match up against Danville because they have a little bit of height, but there's some guys that could shoot the ball. A lot of bounce passes that have worked for them as well.
We really do. We have a couple of really great shooters, and that's kept us in most games, but we do. We have a couple of big men, but they're not quite as tall as the kids from Danville.
Well, athletic Danville team, but Shikellamy showing some of their athleticism here in a tight matchup. Pat, talk about being a student athlete at Shikellamy, always challenging. You got to get the academics done first.
Yeah, absolutely. We strive with trying to get our students to do great with their academics and participate in extracurriculars. We're trying to get more kids to participate in extracurriculars because it opens up a whole new world for kids. It really does.
And this gymnasium, the Phil Lockoff, a great guy who's here for many, many years, a legend here at Shikellamy High School, and of course here since 2006, but the community and of course the student athletes embrace a beautiful facility, always used, it seems, during the playoffs, so people come out and see what you're all about here.
Oh, I wish they would. We do. We dedicated the gym last month to Mr. Lockoff, and this is a wonderful facility. I think we seat around 2,000, so it should be utilized more for district playoffs and so forth.
All right, well, we're looking forward to a great second half here, and we appreciate you taking some time out and joining us,
Thanks
Pat.
very much.
Okay.
Go Braves.
All right, Pat Kelly, superintendent here at Shikellamy High School. When we come back, Bob Ide will join us. We'll get more of the second half here between these two, a close ball game from Shikellamy High School.
We are back at Shikellamy Fieldhouse in Sunbury. Bob Ide back in the seat with John Mendola. Thanks to Pat Kelly, the superintendent of Shikellamy, for joining us at the half. It's 36-29, Danville with the lead, but give Shikellamy, John, a lot of credit getting back into this one. Let's take a look at the first half highlights.
Well, Shikellamy was able to fight back, in this game against these two. Of course, Danville gets the ball going early on. First quarter, they were hot. get some early buckets there. Dan Siebold on the inside finished one. And then, of course, little transition game for Danville as well. And Zach Kozik shows you his athleticism and a kiss right off the glass. So a great job from Zach.
Well, the thing from Kozik is he only scored 8 first quarter points. He didn't score in the second quarter. Austin Rentz, number 15, he's picked up slack. He's got 16 of 36 for the Ironmen.
Well, he scored 3 3-pointers for them, and then just been athletic overall. Rentz, again, a couple of athletic guys that Danville has. They can just pick who they're going to go to, and then the big guy in the middle.
Well, in the second quarter with a 5:56 remaining, Shikellamy was down 11 points, but then they started to come back themselves with Kimberling.
Well, Kimberling has done a real nice job of the inside, got a steal and took it the other way, and then they get some hot shooting here and there when they needed to, and able to do this little bounce pass. And again, you see Kimberling one more time, able to find that little gap, and that's what they were able to utilize.
And the sophomore Ammerman, and then Mowry starting to heat up. Nice bounce back to Kimberling. He has 8 points. Mowry, he's starting to heat up. He had a big 3 towards the end. So Shikellamy to get back in this one, I think they just keep doing what they're doing, and finally I think they're getting used to the press from Danville.
Well, the momentum right now is on Shikelamy's side. Again, it's a close ball game. They're able to stay in, even though they have a lot of turnovers and a lot of forced errors on their end. You got to be happy with where you're at if you're Coach Ford.
Well, we are ready for the second half now and third quarter play after a short break, and I'm sure we're going to have an interesting second half now. And this is where Shikellamy against Milton lost it the other night. The Black Panthers went on a 22-0 run. You know Tim Four has talked about that. Danville quickly inside to the 6'4 junior Stem. He has 8 now.
I'm sure that's going to be one of the emphases for Danville. Pound that ball in. Let's force Shikellamy to foul us or try to stop us.
And that will go against Stem, a foul, his second foul, first of the half for the Ironmen of Danville.
Not too much gets Lenny Smith excited. That one did.
C.J. Tyler, left-handed, gets his own rebound. Back out to Mowry in front of the rim, and again, Tyler there, 2 in a row. Kimberling surrounded, can't get it to go. So 3 opportunities for Shikellamy, no basket.
Well, Mowry looked a little mechanical on that last 3. Needs to just kind of take a shot, throw it up. Don't think about it too much.
Yeah. Mowry's spot is on the other side of the gym in the one corner. That's where he hit all 7 the other night. When he shoots from another part of the three-point, he's having some troubles. Let's see if he can get heated up.
He's in that spot now.
Man-to-man from Danville. Kimberling finds room and lays it up and in for 2 more. He has 10 now.
They have at least 18 points right under the basket, just like that from bounce passes.
Well, anything they can get in the paint is huge, and Kimberling's doing most of his work inside that paint. Double team from Stem, long range Rents, no good, off the mark. Here come the Braves. Down 7. Pop shot from Leitzel, count it.
There's the basketball IQ that Coach Four was talking about. No one to pass, no one to shoot, no one to slow it down, pull up and pop, because any of these guys could do that 10, 12-footer.
For last year's district semifinal, 12 straight losses, the Braves to the Ironmen. Can they break that tonight? Good job by Riley to get back and knock it out of bounds. Coach Tim Four, 16th season here. Took over for Joe Robstock a long time ago. Ball almost hit me in the head.
They get it in here quick, Bob, so you got to keep your eye out. You saw that strip over there on Danville on the layup there from Shikellamy, so Shikellamy retains possession.
Tyler, the left-handed lay-in, and Schick cuts it to a 3-point lead.
Well, C.J. Tyler shows his quickness off the dribble, 9 points per game, 20 steals, 37 assists, got some quickness to him, and he utilized it right there to get him within a tray.
Yeah, and it's his first field goal of the night. Kimberling, inside presence, 2 blocks in a row, but Stem pulls it down and a little twist, count it. He'll go to the line, hoop in the harm.
Well, There's an old adage. If you're going to foul like you mean it on the inside. You don't just swat away. You got to do that against a kid like Stem's got the ups, quick ups. See the quick ups? He grabbed his arm. Hold that arm. Of course, you don't want it intentionally. You got to make sure that he's not able to get the ball up.
So Stem now has 10. He'll go for 11 from the line, and he'll get that to count. And then Shikellamy still standing around. Here comes the trap. Full court pressure from the Ironmen.
That was close.
Tyler, penetration, dishes, in and out for Lights. Oh, but Kimberling's there.
Well, he's been huge tonight for Shikellamy and trying to keep him close. Again, just about 6'1", giving up a solid 3 inches on the inside. But Garrett Kimberling off that injury. Bounce passes, cleanup duty, you name it.
Plays quarterback and outside linebacker for the Braves football team. That one goes in and out. Take a look at that one again, quick.
Nice job of using his body, keeping Phil Stem from blocking that, who had 23 blocks coming into this game.
Also a javelin thrower on the track team, and a big rebound from Ammerman. The sophomore out to Tyler. That would have been huge. Kozik can't get it. Stem right there. Another foul. He'll go to the line. Another three-point opportunity.
Same thing, 2 times in a row. Stem coming up with a rebound, and Stem getting hacked. Again, you got to make sure you got to box him out. And if you're not going to box him out, make sure he doesn't get that shot up.
He's gotten the last 2 pretty much on the inside, and he gets that one to go. So it's back up suddenly to a 9-point lead for Danville, and Shikellamy cannot let this one get out of reach. Tyler doing a nice job on the inside move, goes to the line.
You know, Danville's not one of those teams you want to go in spurts with, because eventually it's going to bite you. You got to keep it close, as Bob had mentioned, and stay that way for a while. And right now, you know, you get it to 2 or 3, then they pull away by 8 so quickly.
So C.J. Tyler goes to the line, 0 for 1 tonight. 86% shooter coming in. He only has 1 field goal, though, averages 9 points per game. Siebel back in. Riley takes a seat. He has 4 fouls tonight. Three-year starter gets it to go. So man-to-man defense, no pressure put on Zach Kozik. He'll pick him up from the 3-point line. Lowry does a flip over. Tunic also in the game, number 2 now in orange. Siebold gets a little room, and good rebound by Mowry. Though back the other way come the Braves.
Got lucky again. They didn't box out Stem. How can you not box out that guy? Very lucky there for Schick.
Ammerman, that would have been another huge 3. Again, you live and die by the 3-pointers. Do the Braves. Kind of liking the orange sneakers out here. Purple and orange, too. Worn by Kozik.
With the matching socks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some good shopping.
Yep. So here comes Danville. They pretty much have owned the lead from the outset. They had led 14-8 in the first quarter at the 3:35 mark. And Shikellamy's got it to within 3 in this quarter, but then Danville went on another run.
Again, trying to match up against Stem on the inside. No offensive foul called.
Battling underneath. Goes out of bounds. And we'll have a stoppage of play. 3:50 on the clock. It's a 7-point lead by the Ironmen. Back to 4th they go here in Sunbury.
My Network TV once again presenting Coaches versus Cancer. Join us on Thursday, January 30th for a matchup of Dallas and Pittston area girls high school basketball. Finish out the Suits and Sneakers Week. We'll showcase Honesdale and Scranton Prep boys basketball. That should be a good one as well, Friday, January 31st. Join My Network TV for a great cause and 2 great rivalry games.
But tonight we're in the Heartland Conference, the Division I showdown. Bob-I John Mendola courtside for this game between Shikellamy and Danville for the 106th time, which is unbelievable, but Danville's pretty much owned this one. But again, Shikellamy beat them last year in the district semis on a last-second buzzer shot at Shamokin. And that snapped a 12-game winning streak by Danville over Shikellamy. So the Braves here down 7, down 3 at one point. They need to get back into it. And Kenny fights underneath. He's going to go to the line to shoot 2. Ryan Kenny, the senior.
Boy, it'd be nice if they could get one of them to fall for the Braves. Remember the last time he got fouled, he hit his first free throw and got his own rebound and able to make a 3-point play was number 44, Ryan Kenny.
Not really a very good foul shooter, but a nice stroke there.
See the penetration there from Shikellamy and the foul called as Kenny did a nice job of protecting the basketball.
Our Luzerne County Community College replay. Thank them for sponsoring. Again, this game brought to you by Sunbury Motors here in the Selinsgrove, Sunbury area. So 2 go in for Kenny. He now has 5, and the lead is down to 5. Man-to-man, turnover by Danville. Here comes Shikellamy. Bryce Bartle, number 5, was in there and fight for it. And possession arrow goes to the Braves. So another sophomore, number 5, Bartle in there. And now Tim 4, not happy as they're going to call a foul. So possession went to Shikellamy, but they called the foul. It goes against Kimberling. His 3rd foul.
Kimberly clearly went over the back, right there. Sometimes that's a 50-50 call. Sometimes you see the referee call a jump ball. He kind of climbed on him a little bit, so you can't take issue with that. Good hustle. These kids know each other. They're talking to each other out in the court in a good way. They know each other well.
So Kimberling to the bench. He's their leading scorer, but he has 3 fouls. Tough man-to-man as Herbster in there, number 40 for Shikellamy. Good job by the Braves, and then they're going to call foul in front as Bartle was trying to go for the ball. It'll be his 1st foul, but I think good pressure defense by the sophomore.
Trying to stick his hand in, deny the basketball. See the replay right there. He ends up trying to pick his pocket.
Rents around the back, and nice job by Austin Rents, his first 2 of the second half, and he has 18.
And Rents not necessarily in a rhythm, but able to do the job in a reach over right there from number 2 on Danville. So another foul called on the Ironmen.
So that will be their 5th foul of this half, their 1st on Vatunik. And we have a couple substitutions now in for the Braves as Tyler gets a quick timeout. He comes back in, as does Apperman, number 33. Herbster inside, a little bit too much pump faking. Kenny blocked.
They're living in the lane, not calling it. For they're living on a prayer, they're living in the lane.
They're making a home there. Shikellamy couldn't get it to go, and Kozik thought Stem was going one way, went the other, and goes out of bounds. So Shikellamy gets a break there. But how many easy buckets has the Brave Lofts tonight? They've had many opportunities, John, and easy layups and chances to just put it back up and in have not fallen.
Yeah, and their guy Garrett Kimberling's on the bench right now. He's put a few easy ones in. And Lenny Smith telling Zach Kozik last time down, just settle down a little bit, settle down. We're up 7, trying to keep that cushion.
Did you like the pizza tonight?
Yes.
I thank K&D Pizza Subs right here 2 blocks away from Shikellamy High School. Thank them for providing the pizza and subs tonight for our crew who are well fed, as always. Trap in the corner, and an offensive foul called. No, they're going to say a timeout before. I think that's a good. Refs are going to talk it over. Kevin McNamara, Doug McRoberts, and Steve Jacoby. And a timeout called before the foul as he was trapped in the corner.
One coach will like it, one won't.
Somebody's not going to be happy.
And Lenny Smith just looking for a little explanation. He's fine.
So we will, in 2 weeks, be at Pittston area for a girls' game, as you mentioned, last time out for Coaches versus Cancer. And then you talked about that Honesdale game back in District 2 against Scranton Prep, and that's going to be a heck of a game. Kevin Miller up at Honesdale playing very well, and, that's one of the teams in AAA they have to watch up in District 2.
Well, Miller's got a lot of experience for Honesdale. He's one of those kids, he's just a great basketball player. Scranton Prep showed what they're all about this year. But, again, Honesdale's one of those teams on any given night. I think they're like a Pittston, one of those teams that can pull the upset on any given night, and they'll try to do it against Prep.
So right here, Danville has led pretty much throughout in this game. Shikellamy has cut it to 3 at least one time here in the third, and then Danville pull ahead. Pop shot, 2-pointer for Derek Ammerman. His foot was on. He has 8 now for the sophomore. And again, Shikellamy within 5. Malloy for Danville, he got his own rebound.
Big possession right here for Schick. Almost a walk.
Here comes Ammerman. Then we're going to have a foul, a little push on Batunik out in front here, his second. And that will be the 16th foul now on the Ironman with 41 seconds remaining here in the third quarter.
Schick better take advantage of that. That was a little bit of a gimme. See if they can get a possession right there. As you see, a little bit of body they called on that.
I'll give credit so far to Shikellamy. They have not let Danville get that big burst like they did against Milton the other night.
The real important one possession, I think, here. Can't force anything.
Almost a bad pass.
They're looking a little shaky
Yeah.
here, Schick. They got to make sure they take care of the basketball.
And they're going to try for the last second shot. But it's a tough defense. And he gets it. Herbster, not really who you would think would take the shot. He had the lane. He made it. Down 3, Shikellamy again, but Danville playing for the last second.
Herbster made up for it earlier as he fumbled one at the end of the first or second quarter. Makes up for it here in the third. And now a rare turnover from Danville from Kozik.
But Kozik has not scored a basket since the first quarter. He started out strong at 8. He still remains on 8. And a good defense by Shikellamy to really cause havoc with him. He's out of his game. Here's Tyler. Pop, shot. It goes. It's Kenny at the buzzer. And the lead is cut to 1. And the Shikellamy crowd is going wild.
Well, that substitution from Tim Four right before with 6 seconds to go. That's why he put him in to get that bucket right there. Kenny.
So let's take a break. Going to be a great fourth quarter here in Sunbury. We'll be right back.
You're watching the rivalry of the week on My Network TV, WQMY. Brought to you by your local Scranton Geico Agency. And by Sunbury Motors, a tradition of trust since 1915.
Oh, welcome back to Shikellamy Fieldhouse. The faithful from Shikellamy dressed in black tonight. The other night they were dressed in camo. So we begin the fourth quarter here at Shikellamy Fieldhouse, Bob-I John Mandola courtside, and what has become a very entertaining game. The last second shot by Kenny, good. So Shikellamy has the ball, and they have a chance to take their first lead in the game.
Yeah, that lead's important for them. See if they can do it real big. Possession here, no foul called.
Kenny playing big, stem right there, and it goes over to Danville.
Bob mentioned a playoff-type atmosphere for Shikellamy, a game they really, really need with a 5-7 record.
And again, they played 3 games on the road to end the season. So this is the time they're playing at home. They need wins. They lost to Milton on Friday. Kozik finds room in the middle, no foul called, stem there, and somehow lays it up behind his head and gets a bucket.
That was the old tilted rim luck on that one he got.
16 for the 6'4" junior. Oh, turnover. Here comes Kozik. And they're going to get Tyler with a foul on Malloy. So Tyler's first foul. Let's look at it again.
Yep. Nice call from the referees. A little bit of arm in that. Now we're going to finally see Kimberling coming back in. That's huge for Shikellamy.
Remember, he's got 3 fouls now. He is their leading scorer. He has 10. And here comes Shikellamy off the turnover.
When you get a linebacker and a quarterback combo, that's as good as it gets. You got toughness, intelligence, and athletic ability, and he's open. Oh, they missed him down low. Wide open was Kimberling.
Mowry swings around, can't get it, but we're going to have an over-the-back call. And I think that's going to go against Kimberling.
I hope it's against 10 for their sake. That's what they're hoping for.
Yep,
That's
it is.
What they got.
They did. They got it against C.J. Tyler. So Kimberling lucky there.
You see there, that ball doesn't go. Kimberling with the contact, but C.J. Tyler as well. They get Tyler for the foul. I'm sure Lenny Smith saying, no, I want that one on Kimberling.
So here is Zach Kozik, the senior, number 5. Rent's only 2 points in that third quarter. Kozik trying to get another 2. He can't find the basket. Here comes Shikellamy. They have numbers, 2-on-1. Tyler the Mowry, count it. And again, Schick within 1.
Again, trying to play quickness. I've been impressed with what C.J. Tyler is able to do. Real smart basketball IQ here.
Mowry going to be called for the foul as Riley tried to get it to go, and he'll go to the line. Will Shane Riley, the junior, to shoot 2.
You see there clearly Mowry over the back. 5'10" senior. Got 19 steals this year. Pretty quick.
That's just his first foul for Mowry, who's a 2-year starter, and that one went in and out for Riley. He shoots 46% from the free throw line. Missed the first, made the first. And goes to get the second, but Stem is in there, can't get it. And Riley's going to be called for foul number 5. That will be it for the junior, Shane Riley. A little bit aggressive, and Lenny Smith is kind of looking at him. What are you doing?
Well, you know, Shikellamy has 4 guys with about 20 steals this year, so they have their own quickness issues. You know, the other side, Danville does have some quickness, but, you know, the way the refs are calling the game, can't be too aggressive, and that was clearly, you know, the right call.
So that will send C.J. Tyler to the line. That's the 7th foul, 1-1. Tyler's made his living tonight there, only 1 field goal. But he is 3 for 4 from the line. And he misses the front end of a 1-on-1. Those are the shots in this point of the game you have to make, John.
Well, free throws become huge. Loose balls on the floor, you got to get 2.
Stem going in, no one taking the charge. Easy lay-in for Phil Stem.
Stem lucky Shikellamy lucky they didn't get Stem with the end one.
18 for him. For Stem. Maury pulls it down. Good offensive rebound. Looking for the best shot they can. The sophomore takes it and pops a shot for Kyle Leitzel. And he has 8 for the sophomore.
Again, Leitzel can get hot. So can CJ Tyler. So it's looking, again, to make the right decisions, and they're making a lot of them as they're in this ball game down 2 with under 5 to go.
Last year in the district semis, a last-second shot. Last time these two played, and Kozik can't find the board. Tyler, 2-on-2. He'll hit it, and again, we are tied at 51 here in the field house of Shikellamy.
Well, the Shikellamy faithful right now feeling a little pride for the Braves.
They're playing like it is a playoff game, and they need to. 3-2 in the conference. Trying to break Danville's 29-game regular season win streak in the Heartland. Division I. Batunik lays it in off the board, his first 2 for the 6'3 junior.
Well, they're yelling now. Get a triangle going. Coach Lenny Smith.
Maury in the lane, he lays it, we are tied again. Nice shot.
That's when you're feeling it. Maury hung in the air, got that extra little air time to get that soft touch and lay that one through.
Tied at 53. Shikellamy was down 11 in the first half. They've battled all the way back.
I think Austin Renz has to get the ball in his hand.
He does. On cue, no foul called. Trap in the corner. Here comes CJ Tyler. He finds Leitzel. It's blocked. Tyler from 3. Off the mark. But a big offensive board and a foul on the floor called on Malloy. Oh boy, things are heating up here in Sunbury, and we're tied at 53. 2:54 remaining in the game, and we'll take our last time out.
Shikellamy on the move. And again, a little stop and a little pop. And the Braves.
Oh boy, we're poised for a fantastic finish here in Sunbury. Bye-bye, John Mandola. Shikellamy battled back from 11-point deficit in the first half. They are tied with their rival from Danville at 53, John, and you mentioned it, the ball just seems to be going the Braves' way tonight.
Yeah, and especially here in the second half, the ball is bouncing into the Braves' hands on their misses, and they're moving the ball around quickly, and I think as the pace goes faster for them, they've gained confidence as the game's gone on, especially here in quarter number 4.
Sophomore Leitzel can't hit the front end. Again, foul shooting going to become a problem, or it can win you the game. Rents off the pick, can't get to go stem over the back, no foul call, but a rebound by Ammerman. Tyler to the hole, foul, and it'll go to the line. Malloy picks it up, the sophomore. Tyler is finding room tonight in the open court.
Yeah, well, their guards have shown their quick transition game. And hey, if you're not able to hit a layup, at least you're able to draw a foul. That's 9 team fouls now on Danville. How about the lead here for Schick?
Malloy's 3rd foul. And how about the lead, John? Their first lead of the game, I believe. As they went back and forth early on. And now they have the 1-point lead, 2:33 remaining in the game. Lights Tyler again, 86% on the year. Hits 2 straight, so 2 big free throws from the 5'10 senior. Here's Zach Kozik, has not scored since the first quarter. They're working in the stem, and he uses the board nicely. 20 now for Phil Stem. Schick won the run. Still man-to-man from Danville. Tyler gets underneath and can't get the basket as he lost the handle.
A dangerous pass from Mowry, but he gets it to his guy, and they don't convert there. And we got a timeout on the floor.
So timeout called by Shikellamy, and it looks like can't tell if it's a 30 or full. It's a 30-second timeout. It will stay right here. And there you see Lenny Smith, his 12th season with the Danville program. And remember, they are on a winning streak of 29 regular season games. And here's what we have coming up. Coaches versus Cancer on tap, John. Our third or fourth year doing the games. So we will head to Pittston to see the girls there. And that Dallas-Pittston girls game, I was at that a couple weeks ago. Boy, that was nip and tuck back and forth. That's going to be an exciting one up at Pittston. And, of course, then Honesdale and Prep the next night after that.
Yeah, looking forward to both of those games. You know, coaches doing a real nice job with their programs and trying to make sure they're up for the playoffs for this coming year. And, of course, get to see Andrew Kettle, who does such a tremendous job with Coaches versus Cancer. He gets that home game for Scranton Prep.
Possession arrow goes to the Ironman. Man-to-man defense from Shikellamy. Matunic looking for Kozik on the cut. He got faked out. A turnover for the Ironman. Lenny Smith again. Why are you throwing that pass? I love his looks on just the way he looks at you. You know what he's thinking.
Well, it's better than sometimes you get that look from the coach. Like, you're in trouble, buddy.
So a little bit of a press from Danville. Nothing like the 1-2-2 we've seen most of the night.
Two guys in the same spot. Again, trying to be real smart. Danville always about pressure. Got to be able to control the basketball here.
Two sophomores going back.
Keep missing that back door. There it is.
Ammerman lays it up. Kimberling. An easy two. What a pass from the sophomore.
It's there all night. You get the quick rotation to reverse the basketball. Kimberling's there for that short window.
Well, how about the move by Tim Ford to start Kimberling? He started out hot. He's got 12. And Kozik can't get the bucket like he did in that first half. Kenny back in now. 50 seconds remaining in this game. 2-0 Ironman of Danville in league play. In trouble here, perhaps losing for the first time since the 2010-11 season in Division I play. They are down 2. Double team on Stem. Turnover. Nope. Back and forth. Malloy comes up with it. And he gets a foul as he tries to pass to Stem, and Stem is fouled. And Kenny. That's his 4th.
Well, you want to go to Stem. Shikellamy had it, didn't have it. Danville comes up with it, and you get a quick foul there from the big daddy, Ryan Kenny, 6'6" senior.
Stem 2 for 2 on the night. He has 20 points, and he'll go to the line. The referee says to shoot 1 and possible bonus. Back of the rim, no good. The fight for it, and a push going to go against Danville. Kimberly. He didn't play a year ago because of an ACL and lost in the football season. But tonight he's making his presence felt.
Well, if you're Danville, you're saying, what the Shikellamy is going on here? But 30 seconds ago, how did we lose the lead? And now a chance for Shikellamy to go up 4.
2-shot foul as a double bonus now. So 2 shots for Kimberling. He's 0 for 2 tonight from the line. He shoots 71% on the year. 2 big ones here. Front of the rim, no good. The big one is here. You need the 3-pointer. You need to get them into 3 points or a 2-possession game. Doesn't get the home rim, and Danville calls timeout. 28 seconds remaining in this game.
Full timeout used from the Ironmen here. You got to think they're going to go into Phil Stem. Phil Stem is the 6'4" guy on the inside to try to post him up maybe against Kemberling if they could. You could join our Fox 56 text club now. Text Fox 56 to 28201. Receive special deals, discounts, and enter exclusive contests. This week, text to win Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins hockey tickets.
Well, of course, both of these teams then now will head into more Division I conference plays where things are heating up. Shikellamy, again, has that home schedule right here. 4 games in a row before they head down the block, basically, to Selinsgrove. So, again, they're in that playoff mode. They need to get to 6 wins to get into the district playoffs and even into possible winning. It's going to be tough to win the Heartland Division I and get into the playoffs. But in the big game tonight, Lewisburg and Loyal Sock. Sock has a 51-50 lead, 15 seconds left, 4th quarter.
They got one of our games.
They got our game. Right here, it's Division I action, Heartland, and boy, this is going to come down to man-to-man defense from the Braves. Batunik in there. He's a junior. Malloy, the sophomore, throws it away. But Malloy, who doesn't play a whole lot, forced it tonight because Shane Riley, number 10, is fouled out, and he turns it over, and a big one at that. Timeout, Shikellamy.
Well, you better be good at free throws right now. A turnover there from Danville. So now the opportunity for the Braves to see if they can literally steal this ball game here at home. You look at the free throw percentage. Mowry, Bob at about 67%. Tyler, 86%. They got Leitzel's 86%. Other guard, Ackerman, 70%. So some guys who could put it in the bucket.
So you see Danville's schedule now. They will go to Selinsgrove and then play a non-conference against Central Catholic, and then they're on the road for 4 straight before wrapping things up in conference play with Selinsgrove, and then they'll meet Williamsport non-conference game. So Danville 2-0 in the division right now, 5-2 overall, while Shikellamy is 3-2 in division, 5-7 overall. These 2 teams will meet again back up in Danville. So 14 seconds on the clock. Possession arrow to the Ironmen, but Shikellamy has the ball. Pressure put on, and a foul in the backcourt. Going to go against Rentz, his 2nd foul, but more importantly, it puts sophomore Kyle Leitzel on the line.
As steady as you get at the free throw line for Shikellamy. And Dad, one of the coaches, you mentioned that, Bob, so you know free throw shooting's emphasized in the family.
Yeah, you can see he's got it. He can't get the rim. So as much as the ball is bouncing their way, it's not getting in on the free throw line.
The rim's been a little in and
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
It's either you're rolling in or you're rolling out.
Yep. He makes a big one, so a 3-point lead. Timeout on the floor. Again, full timeout called by Danville. 13 seconds remaining in this game.
Those timeouts have been stockpiled
Well, because
at the end of the game.
they are, because we have taken media timeouts, and due to that, they have their timeouts. So that is what it is.
With 13 seconds to go, hey, they'll probably get 2 more.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. So an update from Lewisburg and Loyal Sock, and it is the Lancers beating the Green Dragons 53-52 as Omar Little hit a buzzer beater to give the victory to Loyal Sock.
Well, Bob, get to know the Modern Family 5 nights a week on Fox 56. Winner of 14 Primetime Emmy Awards. Same family, new home. Modern Family, weeknights at 6:30 on Fox 56.
Of course, we'll have our players of the game after this contest. And if it remains this way, you have to look at Garrett Kemmerling making a start tonight, coming up big with 12 huge points on the inside. And also Austin Mowry, he's got 11. And somehow, Leitzel's played well. Been a little bit of everybody tonight for Shikellamy. So Danville needs a 3, maybe a quick 2, and a foul. They're going to call another timeout. Well, because they are stockpiled, you talked about it.
Yep. Hey, interesting side note. Mark Atherton, the coach at Crestwood, his nephew, Zach Kozik. So for Danville. So that's Atherton's sister's boy over here playing guard for Danville.
Okay.
So he's talented because Atherton was a good player back in the day and a great coach at Crestwood.
So we always have those connections here between District 2 and District 4. So Loyalsock will remain undefeated in Division 2. Lewisburg, their first loss, but those teams meet again February 7th down here at Lewisburg, and probably another couple times, either in the Heartland Conference or in District 4 AA action. So right here, possession arrow goes to Danville. They're down 3, so do you go for 3? At this point now, John, 9 seconds. I don't think you can go for 2 and get the quick foul and still have enough time to come back down. You got to get a 3.
Yeah, and right now I think you got to look to Renz because he's had a few threes. But if he's not available, you try to get your other guy who's an athlete, Zach Kozik.
Well, Kozik has remained scoreless since that first quarter. Renz has been the guy. And, of course, Stem on the inside, who's got 20. Man-to-man. Steal, stolen away. In the hands, and that will do it. The 29-game regular season winning streak by the Danville Ironmen in Division 1 of the Heartland goes down to the hands of Shikellamy, who now won 2 games in a row over the nemesis, the Ironmen of Danville.
Well, at some point, a streak's going to come to an end. You might as well get it over with and prepare for the playoffs, You get it over with in the regular season.
So Danville loses for the first time in conference play since 2010 and 2011, and it's to Shikellamy one more time as the Braves come back from an 11-point deficit. We'll have our players of the game talk to the winning coach. The final score, 58-55.
You're watching the rivalry of the week on My Network TV, WQMY. Brought to you by your local Scranton Geico Agency. And by Sunbury Motors, a tradition of trust since 1915.
So the crowd is filing out of the Phil Lockhoff Gymnasium at the Shikellamy Fieldhouse as their Braves have upset the undefeated Danville team in conference play. 58-55, the final score. John Mandola is on the floor with our players of the game. John?
Well, thank you, Bob. Austin Mowry, one of the players of the game. Austin, you guys didn't start real well, but you finished real well.
Yeah, at halftime, we knew that we had it. Coach was keep telling us, just keep working hard, and we'll come out with a win.
Talk about the way the ball bounced your way, off the rim rebounds, guys moving the ball around the horn, and a lot of backdoor passes into Kimberly, who we're going to talk to in a minute.
It just comes down to team trust. In practice, we work all week, just trusting our players that they're going to be in the spot that they need to be in, and they trust us to get the pass there to them.
Danville, tough team, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Austin Mowry here from Shikellamy. Now let's go inside Garrett Kemmerling. Garrett, talk about your game tonight. You were the guy early on, able to get some backdoor layups to get this team sparked.
Well, definitely a shout out to the guards for finding me below and getting me the ball. That's really great that they were able to do that. It was just a team effort tonight, and everybody participated, everybody put points on the board, and it was really great.
Talk about going against their big guy. You're giving up some height, but you're in there playing. You had a couple of fouls going, but when you came back in, you made sure your minutes counted.
Yeah, that's kind of been the story of the season for me. I'm not very tall, I guess you could say, so going against the other team's big guys might be a challenge, but I scrap and I fight for what I can get. So.
And that athleticism for you really paid off. Talk about the football mentality you have as a basketball player. You're very athletic.
Yeah, you just gotta go get the ball. That's what it is. When there's a loose ball, you gotta get on the ground. You gotta scrap for it, and you gotta do what you can do to win.
All right, well, you did enough to get the win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, let's move over to Coach Four, who's coming in. And Coach, congratulations. Big win for your team tonight. A really good quality Danville team every year.
For us, every year the players at Danville are different, but the system stays the same. They're so well coached. They're going to, you're going to get your best game every time you play them. And it was a big win for us because we were 5-7, been trying to find ourselves a little bit. Hopefully, this is going to help.
Well, a big game out of your guy on the inside. Just a great athlete. Really, those bounce passes underneath. You might have had 24 points on those backdoor cuts.
Well, that's one of the things we look at. We feel we're guard-oriented. Even with Garrett, Garrett played point for us in freshman and 10th grade basketball, so he can handle the ball a little bit. He has athletic ability. We have 4 guys in the perimeter that can all hit the 3. So we hope to draw some teams out because they're weary of the 3. And as they come out, we try to get some backdoor cuts. And I thought the key for us was we got off to a decent start. Danville put a run on us. We're down 12. But we continued to battle back, chip away a little bit, and even at the end of the game when we weren't shooting free throws, we're normally a fairly decent shooting team from the line. We weren't hitting those shots, but it's still we seemed to have enough left in the tank to get a defensive stop and a rebound when we had to.
Well, you had a lot of forced turnovers to start the game and some were on your own, but then towards the end of the game, you're scrapping for every single ball on the floor. Bounces went your way, and then kids just made plays when things had to be made, and you get that home game win.
And as a game like this unfolds, bounces have to go your way. Sometimes you have to be a little lucky, better than good sometimes, and I thought we got some bounces that went our way. And they had some unforced turnovers. I shouldn't say unforced. I thought we had some guys putting some pressure on them. So they had some turnovers that they normally probably wouldn't have, which helped us down the stretch. And the big thing was, we hit enough free throws down the stretch, and we got loose balls and rebounds down the stretch when we had to.
Well, the national anthem started out the right way. Home of the Braves tonight.
Our student section came out tonight, and it was unfortunate we had a away girls game tonight at Williamsport, and our wrestling team's at Towanda, so we didn't have a lot of the students that would normally be here, but the guys that were here, the girls, the guys that were here, were loud and were awesome, very supportive for our team.
Congratulations.
Thanks, John.
Okay, Tim Four here from Shikellamy High School, and congratulations to the Braves. Let's send it back over to Bob Ide.
Well, we'll call John back into the table, and Shikellamy, as Coach mentioned, improves to 6-7 on the year, but more importantly, 4-2 now in the Heartland Conference Division I play. Danville falls to 2-1 in league play and 5-3 overall. So a big win by the Shikellamy Braves on their home floor. It was a playoff-type atmosphere and a playoff-type game. Huge gains from Kemberling, who had 12. Maury finished with 10. Tyler with some big shots. The sophomore Leitzel had some big shots down the end. And they got some inside play, John, from Ryan Kenny, which they needed to offset Phil Stem. Stem had 20, but they offset and they got the points when they get it. And the ball was bouncing their way.
It was. I mean, their guard play was kind of a complete team effort. The guards played where they had to play and hustled at the end, and they got enough points out of Kemberling. And, of course, Ryan Kenny, as you mentioned, made a couple of key shots down that stretch. That one right as the quarter ended was huge for them. That 2 extra points really did it.
Well, thank you, John, for making the trip down here. It was a great trip. I want to thank everybody from Shikellamy High School, from Danville High School for helping us out, and, of course, to Brad Skelton, the athletic director here, for allowing us to come in. And you know what? For his team, they gave us a fantastic game tonight. The final score again, Shikellamy upset Danville 58-55, the final score. And in our next game will be our coaches versus Kansas City. We'll see on January 30th and 31st. Pittston, and then at Randall Trout. So for the entire Fox 56 Sports Group, John Mendola, this is Bob Ide signing off from Shikellamy, and a huge win for the Braves.
Brought to you by your local Scranton Geico Agency. And by Sunbury Motors, a tradition of trust since 1915.